Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tutorials of Tone. My name is Alex. Thank you so much for watching this video. What you heard in the intro was Katy Perry's Teenage Dream, played on bass. And we're getting close to that E bass into key bass territory with this one, with a little bit of a pop sweep mixed in. Let's dive into how we get that on our favorite Fractal device, whether we're on the FM3, the FM9, or the Axe-FX3. So here we have the song-specific preset and its layout for Teenage Dream, played on bass. Throughout this video, I will be playing my Man Bongo 5-string with 2 humbuckers, and for the most part, I'm just staying between both pickups evenly. First up, we have our input block. Everything here is at stock settings except the threshold of our gate. This is a holdover from the Morse Man that I constantly play on guitar gigs. You don't have to keep your threshold here. You can set it to your liking or turn it off if you don't need a gate. For our clean sound, we're using an SVT bass head. This is my favorite bass model within the Fractal system. And these are the settings that I use on virtually every bass gig that I have. Everything here is pretty neutral. Bass down a bit, treble up a bit, gain and master volume just above noon. In our input EQ, we have a 40 Hz low cut and a 10K high cut. For our output EQ, we do have the Dave LaRue output EQ hump. This gets rid of excess highs as well as excess lows and allows us to stick out as a single individual note instrument without really losing a lot of that low-end fundamental that's just going to get reproduced by the PA anyways. We're running all of that into a pair of cab IRs from the SVT camp. So these are an Ampeg 8x10 and then a 410 with an M88 miking that. We have a 40 Hz low cut with a 12 dB slope and a 10K high cut with a 6 dB slope. That natural bass tone sounds like this. It's just a nice, consistent, moderate tone with relatively old strings. From here, we are going into a multiband compressor to just tame all of the highs, lows, and mids. This is just very stock settings with a little bit of compensation with 1.5 dB of level for the makeup. Now, we go into the synth territory. For this one, we're using 2 of our 4 components. We are using the drive block, the face fuzz, or the fuzz face. Everything here is at stock settings. We're just changing our tone from the standard organic sine wave into something a little bit more right angle-y and sharp edges to get us more of that synth sound. And it really works. Again, everything here is at stock settings. Our mix for this block is at 100%. We want to change the entire waveform into the fuzzed out right angle thing. If we were going for more of a Chris Squire or a Lemmy thing and we still wanted to maintain our fundamental, we would mix that percentage back and we would have a little bit more of the high-end tone on our fuzz, and then our low-end fundamental would be blended as a composite. Not a whole lot to speak of here in the tone tab, but a little bit of a low cut around 100 Hz and a very significant high cut at 2400 Hz, really taking a lot of those highs out and just focusing on our bass ready frequencies. In the graphic EQ, there is nothing to speak of and nothing adjusted in the advanced tab. Moving on to our pitch block, we have an octave divider pulled up. We are 1 octave down, set to 50%. That means we have our standard pitch and an octave down set evenly, and then our detector source is set to input 1. So it's reading the direct playing of the bass as opposed to previous blocks. So we're not hearing the drive and using that to influence our octave divider or our octave down sound. This is really nice because with added drive, you're going to have accentuated upper harmonics. Those might filter in and get pitched down. It's nice to just keep things clean. We have a low cut of 120 hertz and a high cut of 10K. That is the bulk of our tone. And again, that sounds like this. Now, with any octave divider or fuzz, this synthy sound, really be sure of your muting, especially in your right hand. If anything rings out, it's really apparent on bass, as you heard when I switched to the high register. It's not quite as bad as when you use the synth block, but be very, very careful. Be very, very quiet with the right hand. Now, for our final little piece here, we move into the pop sweep. This is something I've employed on guitar for several years, and these dance funk sort of things. It's really nice for this, just as an added feature. You don't even have to use it. But a little quick overview. We have an expression pedal set up with this bandpass filter, the very high maxed out Q, and a frequency from 200 to 1600 hertz. As we go down to the toe, that fades out, and in fades our standard signal. That sounds like this. A really cool effect to just bring in. Maybe it's in a breakdown, maybe it's just this thing that you want to try out in a certain section, whether this song or another. At the very end of the chain, we do have this little filter block. As you can see, it's behaving semi-erratically. Well, that's because it has a very weird hump to it. We've offset the start a little bit for when we're in the heel end of that pop sweep. And this is attenuating all of that frequency shifting and the volume spikes that can come with that, or dips. You really want this whole sweep to be heard, and in order to do so, you need a little bit of attenuation at the end of the line. And to reiterate, this multiband compressor is there to help attenuate lows, mids, and highs within our bass playing. This is extremely crucial for the pop sweep. As you can see, as we moved through that, a lot of pulling down and really keeping things nice and even so we're not blowing anything out or falling away in the mix. Just a nice, compressed, uniform signal all the way to the front of house. Well, that about does it for Teenage Dream by Katy Perry and getting your E-bass into key bass territory. This is super fun to pull out on a gig if people are calling this tune, especially in female-fronted bands, whether you're on a dance gig, maybe you're on a wedding thing, or just a club date. It's really fun to dial in a little bit different sounds on your bass. If you enjoyed this video, there are plenty more videos throughout the channel that you can check out. Fractal 101s, other tutorials of tone, gear reviews, playthroughs, lessons, etc. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.